That's got a little more. That's got a little more country swag to it there.
Oh,
like
great! Gonna have to change that.
I like that one. I like that. I like that. That sound a little better there. Or we ain't gonna get copyright strikes on that one, are we?
We shouldn't. Hopefully not.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Well,
Even
hello,
the other
everyone.
One, even the other one, we shouldn't have either.
Yeah, that was a mess. Well, hello, everybody. Glad y'all made it tonight. Hopefully, it'll be an interesting, entertaining, or otherwise enjoyable experience for you all. Nothing really groundbreaking happened here this week. Been playing a little catch up on some jobs. Trying to get in some fun videos too, because me and Steve talk about it all the time. We do the review stuff because it's part of the whole existence of our channels. But it has been really fun this week, been able to do some stuff that's not necessarily a review. But never fear, I've got a couple of things coming that I'm going to be reviewing in the next few weeks that I got to get out. So how about you, Steve? Are you seeing daylight over there yet? I know you've been a little swamped lately.
Saw a lot of daylight yesterday.
Well, yeah, I guess that was it.
It was 80 degrees out here. So yeah, I opened up the shop doors, got some stuff done, and then mid-afternoon, I'm like, even though I had like things open, I was like, I got to get outside. So took the bike for a bit of a ride. So I did post my review video on the Anycubic Cobra S1 combo. So hey, check it out. Even if you're not interested, watch, turn the video on before you go to bed and let it play.
Play it. Start it playing as you leave your shop.
Yeah. But no, I had some issues with the printer. In the middle of it, I had to do some manual calibration of the Z height to get that first layer good. But once I did that, it's running pretty well. It's kind of like if you want a P1S or a P2S from Bamboo, but you don't want to pay that price, this one will be cheaper. I mean, all up, because it comes with their multi-filament, I forget what they call it, IFS or what. Everybody calls it something different, right? So the multi-filament system, it's you can set it on top of the unit or to the side. It's got 4 colors, and it'll switch between them. And it has a built-in heater. Comes with its own power supply, so you can run the dryer and the heater while it's going. It's got that. It's Core XY. It's just slightly smaller. I think it's a 250 cubed build plate instead of 256. Why they subtract that last 6 millimeters? I don't know. Right now, I think it's actually going for like $420 something. So it's definitely cheaper. That being said, I had to do it more. I had to calibrate it more. I had to do more playing around to get the solid prints. And so if you don't mind doing some troubleshooting, and I'm not saying every single one would, but I ran into some issues. So
the potential to have to do it is probably a little greater, you think?
I ran into some problems, had to, look into what they were, try to figure out what, I tried some flow rates and other things. It ended up being the Z offset. It was just pushing it down too far. If you're willing to do that, it's a good budget printer. Now, longevity, I don't know. I've been using it for they sent this before Christmas. And then I was troubleshooting it up through CES a little bit. After CES, got some going on it, but it kind of then was overlapping with other commitments and such, so it kind of got delayed. So I've been using it off and on for probably about 4 months now. I did, in my troubleshooting, swap out the hot end, which is fairly simple. It's similar to the Bamboo A1, where it's kind of a it is spring loaded, drop, or there's not a lot of extra wires and things to connect. Fairly easy to replace it. Wasn't necessarily my problem. I did replace that. But other than that, I haven't had other issues once I've gotten it dialed in. So anyway, watch the video, check it out. They are another player in the 3D printing world. I don't think my experience with them, the quality control wasn't up there with Bamboo, but once you get past that, I mean, they're using an Orca-based slicer. It's pretty comparable to that. In some ways, their filament, you don't have to press a button and try to get it past a gear and let it grab. You just feed it in and it grabs it. All but one time, it went pretty well. So overall, okay, with the caveat that go into it understanding you might need to do a little extra troubleshooting with it. So yeah, got that launched. Been trying to finish up the Prover XL 2x2 machine. Got the big carve done last week, and then this week and this weekend. Actually, let me grab it. I did some aluminum milling on it. And this is using Cody's 1/8" O-Jenny O-Flute bit. And it worked out pretty well. So I'm trying to get all my footage together. I got to do kind of like the talking overview bit. And so I'm hoping like Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest, I'll have that one out. And yeah, like you, I've been wanting to get to some other projects. But shop time and weather and everything else sometimes just seems like to push my timelines around.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been nice to get out here in not freezing cold weather, although it's kind of funny because what was it last week? Saturday into Sunday, we had all that snow. Then Monday morning, I think it was Monday morning. Yeah, because they actually, everything was cold up here, cold and windy. And so they actually went virtual for the day because we had like below zero real temperatures, real cold wind chills. And then to go to yesterday when it was like 80 something, I mean, you're talking almost a 90-degree temp swing there.
Yeah, the weather's been a little wild from what I've been seeing. That's the case in a lot of the areas around the U.S. this week. It's been unusually warm in places, and then last week it was like unusually cool in other places. So it's been a bit of a roller coaster here for the past week or so, from what I can see.
Yeah, today it's barely gotten above 40, and I had to turn the heater on back out here. So I was sweating out. It was like 77 degrees here with the doors open yesterday.
Yeah.
And then I came out here earlier, and it was like barely 50 in the shop, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Minnesota Custom Made is asking, have you seen the Creality Filament Maker M1 and Shredder R1? I saw some videos on it. I think Steve Makes Everything did a video on it. I saw his video, and I mean, it's cool if you're into that kind of thing, I guess. To me, that's not something that appeals to me. But there again, I'm not using a 3D printer as an art or to try to come up with certain colors, or you know what I mean? So me personally, I would just rather somebody take my money and give me some filament ready to go. You know, it's kind of like, you know, I know guys that like to make their own home brew, and they spend weeks and months and, you know, trying to perfect it and all that because they're a connoisseur of it, instead of just going to the gas station and spending $8, you know? So I guess, you know, if custom filament is your thing, then yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. It just seems to be, it's more equipment to keep up and more maintenance and so forth that I don't currently have a need for it. I could see where you could use that and maybe come up with like some specialty blends as far as filament, adding different things to it to try to get different effects. Maybe you like make some, you know, just odd filaments. It would be creative, but I think it's more of it's for somebody that wants to kind of piddle with the filaments more than what I do. I'm a utilitarian when it comes to my 3D printers. Like I'm wanting to print parts that are functional and strong. That's I don't really care if they're black, gray, or what. I just need the basic colors, and I can carry on. So, but it is neat to see it working though. What do you think, Steve? Do you think it's something that you would like to add to your shop?
I mean, you say that, and on my bamboo A1 right now, I've got a Fallout, one of the Vault Dweller chunkables printing. So, um, no, I think.
Well, you're more into the art stuff with it than I am. So everybody's different.
Yeah, and I think you're right. For people that are looking to just produce like more industrial type items, that just they need consistent filament, not looking for necessarily specific colors, but just want to load and go, print those out. They're probably not going to have a lot of waste, and they don't want to mess with oddities in their filament. But I can see it more from, like you say, maybe someone who does more experimenting with designs and artistic kind of things, maybe multicolor things that currently, with the single head multi-filament machines, you get a lot of that purge waste. I think they're pulling at maybe, environmentalist type people who want to try to not throw away their failed prints and there's, their last couple inches of filament on the spool, things like that. That being said, I mean, other than grinding up a print that you went, that didn't work, let's recycle it. I think the purging is going to go away with these multi-head units coming out. I think more and more you're going to see those available, and you're going to get away from these multi-filament adapters more towards the multi-head, and then the multi-filament things will be just run out ones to go from one spool to the next. There won't be as much purge waste. You'll still have the failed print, maybe the fractional spool. There again, the spool management can take care of that. I don't know. I think it's a niche problem.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it work more, maybe just out of a curiosity thing. And like I say, I mean, I don't like throwing things away. I don't like burning things that don't need to be burned. I don't like, I care about the environment and I don't want to destroy it. So printing plastic parts and then chucking them in the garbage is a little to me. So from that aspect, yeah, I can see where it being nice, but in reality, am I gonna try to integrate one into my work? No, I'm with you. I'm gonna buy the filament I need and try to be mindful of any waste. So
yeah, I don't do much multicolor, and what I do is typically just raised text. And with a raised text, you get that one filament change between the actual body printing and then the colored text printing. So it's not like I'm getting massive piles and piles of purge material or anything. So like I said, to me, it doesn't really fit my way of doing things, but I could see to where other PA people in other realms, or even if you're like, let's say you do a lot of like prototyping and you're constantly throwing away prototypes, and maybe you want to grind those down and just melt them down and put them into, just standard filament. Don't try to add nothing or add color. You just want to print something that you can print a prototype with, whether it's a rainbow colored or what. I mean, I think that would be maybe more of an application that I could use, would be to be able to grind it and then just spit it out as a filament, whether it was pink, purple, red, blue mixed or whatever, just as a prototyping filament. That way you could just prototype with it and then recycle. Yeah. I don't know that the custom color stuff would be something that I would ever use.
I feel like that would be
the recycling function. I might could use.
I feel like the custom color stuff is going to be very, I mean, you got to get your mixtures right. Yes. I feel like it'd be a little bit like the stainless steel color effect. Like, got it a little bit wrong that time.
Yeah. So. Yeah. It's like when you go to get paint, they tell you if you're going to get a gallon of paint, go ahead and get 2, because the chances of them, now it's getting better with computers and stuff, but used to back in the good old days when they just measured it and squirted it in the white paint, couple of extra drops could mean the two rooms are different color.
Well, and then if you're going back to touch up paint a year later, it's often the sunlight and other things have modified that color.
So with the filament, I just like I said, the recycling aspect of it. If I were doing a lot more prototyping, I could see it. I could see it being beneficial. Because I hate printing something, which I hate my time being wasted more than anything. I do have to prototype things sometimes and then end up throwing them away. You build it and then you find out, oh, that one little spot right there is too tight or too loose or whatever. So for recycling, it would be cool to have, but the whole, making your own, I'll pass on that. I'm not into that part of it. So.
Yep.
So they could keep the colors and the pigments and all that. Just send me the recycling aspect of it. But you have to be, when you're doing that though, like I said, you have to make sure that you have bins or whatever for PETG or PLA, which I've moved away from PLA because that way I don't have to worry about reloading the printer if it's going to be something that's going to be in a car or outside or in a boat. So I've got to where I'm just moved over to PETG because it's, I don't have to change filaments. I can just select the color and hit print.
If you had a second printer, you could.
Well, yeah, if I had one, and I've come close.
Just got to load one up with PLA, the other one with PETG. I always make that mistake of when I change them, I got to make sure I scrub the plate because PLA and PETG don't like to stick together. And the residue on the plate sometimes is enough to make you go nope.
Yeah. I have to. Mess. Like I had the other day, I had a situation like that. I think it was because I had printed some PLA on it, and then I went back to try to do PETG, and that first layer just was sliding all over the place. And so I had to take the build plate off, took it in the kitchen, and I've been just taking mine and putting it in the sink and using dishwashing liquid and a rag and washing it like it's a plate. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I rinse it in really, really hot water so that it, airs out real good. And within a few minutes, boom, it's back up and going. Sometimes they stick a little too good right after I clean them. So I have to dirty them.
I hit it with Dawn Power Wash, and then I'll lightly scrub it, like you say, rinse it off with real hot water, and then kind of let it air dry out. Yeah. So. But that usually if you're having an adhesion issue, usually that takes care of it. Unless you got a mechanical issue with the printer. But
I'm about to have to replace my build plates though, because where the bamboo does a little scrub thing at the back.
Oh yeah, mine are well worn out. Yep.
It has no coating on it whatsoever. It's just bare metal.
Yep. Jared Grady saying my daughter's on crutches for a bit and did Clack's file. Tweaked it in Tinkercad for a water ball holder. There you go. So taking your man, was that was
during
well
my
over
knee
a year
surgery.
ago. Yeah.
I did that file when I did my knee surgery. They work though. I've still got the crutches with them on there in case I ever do need them again. But it's pretty good place to put your phone and stuff like that because a lot of times if you're in crutches, you tend to wear jogging pants a lot, so you don't really have pockets. And if you do have pockets, you don't want nothing heavy in your pockets unless your string's really tight because it can be embarrassing.
Brad's Custom Board says, did see a video today for the IKEA Master CO2 laser.
Well, Steve,
I believe, JVE Jerome. Can't remember how you pronounce his name. He got one out. So truth be told, I'm supposed to have one out. But the printer arrived through customs to, I believe, Louisville, Kentucky, 4 weeks ago, and it hasn't moved. So I don't know. And UPS isn't the greatest at customer support. I'm not even the customer, so there's not a whole lot I can do. It's kind of on Adam Stack to figure it out. So I was hoping to have some information on that one for you. Maybe I will at some point, but it hasn't moved in 4 weeks. I'm kind of giving up on it moving until they ship it some other way, send the right documentation, or I don't know, whoever's at UPS is having fun with it is done with it and wants to send it on. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's a 50 watt CO2. They're kind of claiming it as like a portable one. It's a little lighter, self-contained, but so I don't know. I guess the closest thing I'd be able to compare it to is between the OhmTech Polar Light in the Monport Reno, although the Reno doesn't have the integrated water chiller, so that one would be even less portable. I'm curious though, like knowing what I know about CO2 lasers, it's not something that I want to be very portable per se. So I'm curious how they're going to address things like maintaining alignment and things like that when you move them around and bounce them around. So, but yeah. It's out there.
They put it on their website. It is definitely gonna be.
And I don't know
a smaller CO2. It's 500 by 300 is what it's saying.
So they're not
almost K40 size.
And they're not showing a price on there. I know they're saying something like put $10 down and get like $50 off or something like that. So, but yeah, it's so Adam Stack did officially take over IKEA. It's kind of like their premium brand, like they originally said it was going to be. They had their Hurricane. I think they still sell that one, but this will probably replace it for their CO2 lineup at least.
I don't know. The bed on this one's smaller than the Hurricane.
Yeah, but so I don't know if they're going to, continue the Hurricane, if they'll sell it out, if they'll redo it, but it's out there. Maybe we'll see more videos, but like I say, I was supposed to get one and it never showed up. It's stuck very much in Louisville. So
yeah, I passed on it because I just don't have the room right now until I make some space, and I've got other machines that I had already kind of like got geared up for and that I've got coming. Most of the machines that you'll see me taking in the next few weeks are going to be Galvo machines. I've got 3 Galvo machines supposed to be coming, and I don't want to disclose all of them because the only one I think that has mentioned that they're going to send it that is public. Let me make sure it's public. Make sure before I say it. But a couple of them aren't actually released yet. Yeah. Okay. So this one is actually public. It's the Hansmaker D1 Ultra, which is kind of looks kind of like an F1 or F2 from X-Tool. Like it remarkably looks a lot like it. I've supposedly got that one coming. I haven't got shipping information on it. And then I have 2 others that I don't know are public yet. And I'm just waiting on shipping information from them. But I also supposed to be having another cool machine coming, but Monday is supposed to be the day that everything ships. So if I find out for sure, I'll let you guys know. But you know how it goes until it shows up here. Kind of like what Steve said with his. I mean, his has been stuck in Kentucky now for a while. Until it shows up here, I can't make any promises. But I do have 3 dual source Galvo machines possibly coming in, as long as nothing comes up. But yeah.
Norbert's asking, is anyone running an X-Tool P3 and a diode in an enclosure? What fan are you using for both, and what is the CFM of the fan? Do you use a speed controller for the fan? So I've got my P3 hooked up to my exhaust system here in the shop, and I did a video on that about a year ago when I had the S1 out here along with P2. So basically I've just swapped machines on it. It's the P3 and the Alien Cell now. I do have I think it's the Han and Guan 6-inch fan hooked up to that, and then I have blast gates so that I can open them both, open them one or the other. Both running at the same time, it's probably not enough because I have it restricted down to 4 inches too early. If I maybe ran that 6-inch a little bit longer, it might be enough. And then I do have a speed control on there. That being said, generally I'm running it full open at any time I am running it. So, but if you want, you can check that video out to see what I used and how I hooked it up. It seems to work well one at a time, as is.
Yeah. Oh, now I will say this: if you're venting outside, I'd probably just run one to each, just do a dual output. Because if you try to split it in any way, the one fan is going to feed back into the other machine. So,
Well, you want to have enough that it can draw enough airflow from both, or you can.
I was going to say if you had a couple of these these AF2s or whatever, the fans from X Tool,
IF2.
Yeah, but if you did that though, I mean, you're still, if you're trying to put two machines through it, you're still going to bottleneck, especially with the P3. That P3 going to generate a lot of smoke cutting.
Well, and that's, having good blast gates will prevent the backfeed, and as long as you have, so like right now I've got the IF2 on the P3 and I've got the integrated fan on the Alien Cell. Both of them pump into that. So as long as you have the larger fan drawing, and you're not, that's drawing more than those.
Yeah, you wouldn't want it pushing against a blast gate, but as long as it was on the suction side, that would be a lot easier to manage. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not ideal. I mean, if you can have individual ones, yes, but not everybody wants to poke that many holes in their walls of their, wherever they're at. So,
yeah. Let's see what we got here.
Ray Watts is asking, have either one of you seen the Alien Cell rotary they have on their website? Yep. I see they have that out there, although it is marked as ETA of end of June. But it's out there. Let me see if I can just bring this up here. So $250. It's your kind of typical. It's got the rotating chuck. It's got the support on the end. So looks very reminiscent of a lot of the others we've been seeing lately.
Yeah.
They have the advanced kit, which includes, it looks like some extensions for the various chucks and such. Let's see here. Yeah, down there it kind of shows you get different plates or different jaws here, so maybe some options there. But yeah, I mean, that's about all I can see on it. I don't know that they've gotten any of them out to anyone else yet. I'd have to go look, but
I saw a video the other day of it, but I think it's one of the one of them
marketing promos. Yeah,
yeah. It's not. I don't think they let none of them out in the wild yet. I think they're real controlled at the moment. But yeah, I'm curious. You see that crosshair? You see that crosshair on the base? No. There's one up top and there's another one there.
Yeah, probably
I'm curious if they're going to use it. I'm curious if the camera's going to is it going to be camera assisted or what? I've been seeing like I said, I'm curious to see what it looks like, but I think they're going to have to get the riser before they can push that out because I don't.
Right.
It looks to be the same height as the RA3, and I don't think it's going to fit in there without the riser coming first.
Yeah, I was going to say it's probably going to need that riser. There's just not enough room. This is a very flat, big.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 2 inches. You got 2 inches of space under the head, and that's it. Because I was putting something in there the other day, and I had to take my my slats out just to get it in there, and it was wood. It was like a piece of wood. So, yeah, I'm sure from what I've seen of the machine so far, I'm sure it'll work well once they get it done. I'm really hoping they come up with like a way of fixing it in the machine though, and don't just have it sitting on the bed to where you've got to align it every time you change a tumbler out.
I mean, that'd be nice, but if they do have those crosshairs on there, at least you'll be able to get it lined up fairly easily and
with the Alien Cell too. If you have a bigger machine, or even if you don't have a bigger machine, if you cut it in pieces, it's not hard to make an insert to go in there where the crumb tray.
Well, and I don't have the honeycomb. You have it it kind of locks in place, right?
It fits within pretty tight tolerances. So it worked to me. It works good enough for a jig.
So yeah, you could do something on the honeycomb. It wouldn't need to be the full size, but it's going to get it.
Yeah.
Within a millimeter or two.
You probably get maybe a 0.5 millimeter of wobble tolerances. So I mean, it's for most everything you're going to do. It's very precise.
That's good. So, I mean, yeah, we've got about 3 months for the June ETA. So
yeah, and I've been running mine a lot. I don't know about some of these other guys, but I've been using mine for a lot of different jobs. I'm really falling in love because, and it's because of the 3D printers, like my Bamboo Lab, because all the things that I sell on Etsy that are 3D printed, I have them saved in my printer. So I can walk over there and go, Bigfoot print, sticky fingers print. And so I don't have to actually pick up a computer. So I've kind of got spoiled with that. And with the alien cell, I've got it set up the same way too. Like my packaging stuff for the Bigfoot, like I take a piece of cardboard off of a box or whatever, throw it in there, and I don't even have to open up a computer. I just on the screen tell it, hey, cut out my Bigfoot holder out of cardboard and hit go. It automatically focuses and runs the job. So it's pretty cool. May, I've got a couple of things I make for her that she orders pretty regular. I've got them saved in there for 1/4-inch ply. I mean, it has some cool features. So far, I like the machine. So we'll see how it goes. What's up, Greg? Long time no see. I thought Greg had just forgot about us. He was supposed to invite me over to the shop opening whenever he gets it open. I'm guessing we're running a little behind schedule. So
hey, he said what he said. Was it spring, summer?
I thought he said summer last year.
Well, he said summer, but did he say a year?
Well, you have a point. I don't know that he specified a year.
If he's smart, he didn't. I just said opening in the summer. Yeah. I didn't say
he's over in Georgia, so it's not really that far from me. So
yeah.
Hey, what's up, Rick? How are you? I can get Steve to ride over there and help you out with that computer. The camera. I don't know. I thought Steve was going to have to call somebody earlier. His camera wasn't working.
You just didn't like the settings I had. There's something about doing this that bugged you.
Yeah, you got too many decimal points in that zoom.
No, it's a fun slider. Woo!
Mercy.
Now let me reset that. There we go. Oh, yeah.
All right, Greg's got a question. It says, what is the most practical high-speed engraving rate for an Atom Stack 48-watt gantry on hardwood? I'm thinking 10,000 millimeters per minute. 10,000 per minute. See, I gotta do some math on that. 10.
That's where we need that meme of
166 on a 48 watt on hardwood. It depends on how deep you want it to go. I mean, that's around 160. Yeah, I mean, you could get a nice deep burn even at like 127 on your LPI. That would I would think use it because I run the X40 a lot, and on my stove covers I'm running 150 on the pine, and I'm getting a really deep, really dark burn. So 160 would be a pretty deep burn. 150, which I don't know what that would wind up being, would be a little deeper, but just don't touch it. You can always run it 2 or 3 times.
You also got to. It's also going to depend on the size of the engraving, because some of these lasers, if you're doing smaller engravings, you're never going to get up to that acceleration speed on. If you're just doing like a 1 or 2 inch thing. If you're doing a larger one, yeah, it's probably going to reach that speed. But on smaller objects, it's not, because by the time it accelerates up to that speed, it's got to slow down. So there's going to be some variation on large engravings versus small ones. But yeah, I would say 10,000 on up to maybe 15, 16, depending on the material. If you want any depth to it, but.
And a lot of times too, if you want a little bit deeper and a different burn, you can do a little more overlap and run a higher LPI. And it's going to take longer to do that one pass, but especially if your machine, let's say maybe your machine's like Steve said, the LPI is not going to be as dependent on the ramp in and ramp out speeds as far as the acceleration, deceleration. So I'll a lot of times if I want to do a deep, if I'm doing an epoxy pour or something like that, I will turn the LPI up a little bit just to gouge it a little deeper. So, but typically with wood, anything over about 125 to 127, 130, you know, that's plenty.
Yeah. Guy Martin's asking, are either of you getting X-Tool UV printer? I saw an influencer saying he was getting his soon. Nothing I've heard from.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It kind of goes in cycles, and I feel like because neither Clack or I are, you know, we're fairly agnostic. We have some of our favorites, but we try to show a variety of things to really kind of have a broad viewpoint, reach out to more people. That, you know, X-Tool isn't in everybody's price range. Not everybody likes X-Tool for various reasons, so we like to have experience with other lasers as well. And so we're not pumping out video after video after video after video, branding everything with X-Tool. And so we don't get necessarily picked. You know, we're not the first one getting picked for the kickball team.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not exactly, we're not first string. Steve and I aren't part of the X-Tool. What do they call it? Something affiliate where basically you're guaranteed or whatever, because there's criteria that you have to meet. And me and Steve chose not to meet those criteria. It's nothing against them. I still work with X-Tool. They send me stuff to do stuff with. I like X-Tool. I've had a really good relationship as far as I've been doing videos with them for 4 years. Not all of my stuff has been, you know, shining reviews. Sometimes I'm critical of how they engineer things, and we've had a good relationship. But like Steve said, we're not necessarily on the A team when it comes to, you know, product salesmen. The salespeople don't really, you know, they're not jumping up and down about us getting them. With that said, like I said, recently I've gotten a new contact. My contact quit or got fired or something happened to him back before CES, and like X-Tool went dark for me for like 6 months. Like it was like I didn't exist. And then they finally reached out after or right before CES and realized that my guy had, like, I guess, left my file in the back room when he left or something. I don't know. But yeah, I've got some stuff coming, and I've been talking to them, and they keep wanting me to sign up for the, you know, A team or whatever, but I'm just not comfortable with it.
A team.
Yeah. You know what I mean? They got like, you got the A team, the B team, the C team, like the first string.
I'm gonna be on the Airwolf Knight Rider team.
Yeah. So I don't mind working with any company. I don't care how big or small they are.
Or let me throw this one out there. Maybe the Street Hawk team. I'm just going to go with all the 80s.
As long as they don't like have an issue with the way that we like to do our videos, which is more or less just, hey, this is our opinion. We're not trying to make a sale. Oh, I don't like doing this salesy stuff. And that's been the big hang up with a lot of this. The people that are on their first string team or whatever, you have to do X number of videos per year, and you have to do a video about this sale and a video about this sale and a video about this sale in order to be on that team. If you don't do those things, then you get kicked off the team. And so that's why I've never signed up. And you can take that and go back and listen to some of the videos that you've watched and understand who has signed up, because they do the sale videos a lot. But yeah, it's just not something I'm just not, you know. If they want me to have the product, I'd love to. I enjoy it, but I'm not going to compromise the ethics of my channel, so to speak, for any company. So,
besides, I already have one.
Yeah, well, now with that said, there's a chance that I may be getting a UV printer, but it may not have a green logo on it. I don't know.
I just printed this. I had to fire mine up. Unfortunately, some of my ink is getting to the point where it's going to expire. I was like, oh, I better fire it up and use it.
Yeah, so it's like eating cereal every morning to get rid of that milk. Is that what you're doing?
Cereal. So yeah, this is the logo for my secondary channel, and I need to work with that one. Probably vectorize this a little bit better to get some better lines on that. But yeah, it's an interesting printer. From what we saw and what they've been leaking out as far as information, it is a dual head printer. It's got a slightly larger work area than the Eufy. I don't know. Have they clarified the ink? Because it sounds like they're going to have their own cartridges as well.
I suspect that's going to be one of those things that you're going to have to go to Xtool to buy. I suspect, just from looking at some of the other stuff they've done.
So I'll just say this, from having worked with this one for, getting close to a year now, off and on. It is nice because it's got its maintenance mode. It goes into that maintenance mode. Mine's been sitting for probably the better part of a month, maybe a little bit more. I fired it up, ran a cleaning cycle, did a couple of quick CMYK tests on paper, and was able to get a print out of it. That's nice because I didn't have to proactively do anything for it to go into that maintenance mode. Now, that did cost money. That did cost ink. And I'm at the point now where I'm like, oh, shoot, I need to use up some of this ink or it will go bad and the printer won't use it. There's also other costs to consider with this. Those print heads on there, if you do muck them up or they do go bad, which they will eventually, they're pretty much a going rate of about $600 a piece. So now Xtool is going to have 2 of them in there. So it is a cool technology. It allows you to print things like this on a lot of objects, not every object. But if you don't use it frequently, you're going to find it's very expensive because you're flushing out a lot of that ink. Your inks may be going bad. You have to, you want to print 1 or 2 things. Now you got to let it do its whole cycle, re-inject the print head to use a little bit of ink and then possibly let it sit a little bit longer. So if you're an occasional user of it, might not be the thing you want to jump into. If you're doing product customization and you want to get some nice tumblers with color logos on it, great. But also be mindful that UV ink, UV resin is not food safe. So you could put a logo lower on a tumbler, but you can't have anything up by where it's going to have contact with, where there could be ingestion kind of thing. So there are some limitations to it. Very cool technology, but just, keep in mind, it's not like your inkjet printer. The ink isn't something you go to Office Max to buy, and it's not, $25 cartridge that has all 3 colors in it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's going to be a little more expensive. Like I said, I haven't spoken with Xtool directly about the UV printer. Like I said, they've mentioned some of the other lasers that they've released recently. I don't know what they're going to do. Like I said, I can't tell you, but I wouldn't mind having the Xtool UV printer because I think if Xtool brings just the way that they normally approach machines, if they bring that to the table, I think it'll be a fairly easy to use, user-friendly machine that will be mostly low maintenance. I feel like that's what Xtool would make because that's kind of where they try to operate is in that family space to where grandpa and the kids can run it and print stuff together. That's kind of where they want to live. They're not trying to be all the way over in the industrial side, I don't think. So I think it would be a good machine. And if they offered it, I would take it. But I don't get heads up like that currently. So we'll see. I did get the P3 adapter for the RA3 for my P2 or the RA3 adapter for my P2. So I will be trying that out. I got that after I did my video of the RA2 with the P2. So now we get to see what the RA3 can do with the P2. But I got to work that in because I've got some other videos ahead of it currently. But I've been playing around with it. And it's not terrible, but I'm not overly impressed with the little bracket at this time. But I haven't used it to actually do a tumbler yet. I've just kind of put it in there and played around with it.
Santa's asking how long would return on investment be with a UV printer, knowing that you have a $600 consumable part at some point. I mean, there are other parts that do need to be replaced. You got your air filter, you got the scrubber on the print head. You know, some of those have minor costs as well. The ink itself, and even so, I mean, the way Eufy does it, and probably with Xtool with their custom cartridges, yes, you are paying multiple times more per milliliter for the ink than you will in a large industrial UV printer. That being said, it's still, I mean, this was pennies to print. And so if you think about being able to take, 4-pack of these coasters, and I think I found these coasters on Amazon where they're maybe like 50 cents a piece. Don't quote me on that. It was roughly 50, even if it was $1 a piece per the coaster blank, and you've got maybe 5 cents of ink into this, you can do a set of these, custom colored coasters and full color. Now throw that out there to what you maybe been doing with black and white laser engraved coasters. You can kind of do an up premium from that. There's still some good profit to be had. And that's where I say, if you are selling things, you're probably not going to have a problem because you got a customer base. The people I've showed this to and some of the people I've worked with, yeah, they're like, oh, I love that. They like my engraved ones, but they love these as well. So it's not, I don't think you're going to have a problem if you have a customer base. If you're doing it as a hobby and as a fun playing around thing, that's where you might get a little frustrated because you load up your ink, you get excited, you print like 20 things, and then it sits for a month and you got to cycle some stuff through. And all of a sudden now you're out, really quickly with that cleaning cartridge that maybe has cycled a couple times because you only printed a few things. You find yourself replacing that part. And then, the scraper after, I forget, it's like 6 or 8 months, they want that replaced. And then, the print head, for whatever reason, gets clogged and you feel like I only made 50 things with this as opposed to possibly hundreds of things with it. That's where I feel like the occasional use, all those incidental costs are going to add up a lot faster than if you are regularly using the device.
Yeah. The thing that I've learned, because I've been doing a little bit of research on the UV printers, just because, like I said, I'm supposed to be getting at least one, is that your cost per unit decreases the more frequent you do them. So if you make it, let's say you run a batch of 10 prints once a week, your cost per print is going to be less because you're not having to run that purge clean cycle as frequently because you have, I don't know how many days is it between the purge.
You can adjust that on this one, but yeah, if you the more consistently you do it, it doesn't do the purge cycle. The ink stays fresh in the head. It's less likely to get plugged up. There are costs that just time-based or whatnot. It's going to add up.
But as far as the purge and the cleaning fluid and stuff like that, if you run it like every 7 days, you will cut down maybe 4 days, however long. But
I think you can stretch it out to like 3 days or so, but maybe more. I haven't looked. They keep trying to tweak it as they're getting more people using it to see how long you can stretch it.
If you let it sit for 6 weeks and then you run it, your cost per print is going to be tremendously higher than it would be if you ran it and printed like every week with it. So that's where, and I'm gonna be honest with you, that's one of the concerns I have is I'm gonna have to come up with a product and a use for it so that it doesn't get to sit still, because it's gonna be one of those things that, like I said, it's gonna cost you money just sitting there more so than it will if it's print. Because any machine, whether it's a vehicle or whatever, if you're not using it, it's not going to, you're not making the kind of money. It's just deteriorating, whether just age, maintenance, or whatever. It's you're losing money if the machine's sitting still. So
yeah, that's so having something, be it coasters or whatever, something that you can just print one every other day or something like that will help out with that. It keeps things exercised, it keeps things moving. But you kind of want that to be, I mean, sure, you could print one of these out every day for kicks and grins, but it'd be nice to have
a market for them.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you have something that's a little more generic, or a company that is like, hey, we're going to need 25 of these every month or two. that you can say, okay, I'm going to use this as kind of my filler in between the busy days. But it's just something to be mindful of. It's the UV printer isn't something you buy, you play with, you set on the shelf for 3 months and come back and go, oh, I think I want to use that again. It's something you want to kind of anticipate using fairly often.
Yeah. So Benjamin's asking, do you have a go-to brand for tumblers? Have you ever used Lone Star adhesive? I'll let you take that one because
I don't have a go-to brand for tumblers because I try to avoid them because I did them a lot when I had my original CO2 laser. It's one of those things after you've done so many, you just kind of get tired of them. And so I don't have a go-to brand right now. There were some that I used to get on Amazon because I didn't have business accounts with any places at the time. And they were fairly consistent, but that was pre-COVID. And since then, consistency is not there. I do have some Lone Star adhesive, the leatherette type stuff. I kind of use it on more premium orders because I also have some generic stuff for just doing like the machine testing and, the donation type stuff. I do like the Lone Star adhesive leatherette. It's a little more durable, I think. I think for cutting it, I've found at least some of the variations I've got just needs a little more power because I think it's just there's a little more meat to it, which is nice actually.
The sticky part tends to
the
not
sticky part, but
really
even I think just the base leather, the synthetic leather stuff is, I think, just more. There's more to it. I've seen some that are just super thin. I'm going, but yeah, no, it's good stuff. But how about you? I know you've got some tumblers you like.
Well, I started out using the Hassel Outfitters from Amazon, and I'm gonna be honest with you, there are cheaper places to get them, but you have to order X number of dollars to get free shipping, and I mean, there's always caveats. If you're engraving 500-600 of them, then yeah, go to a wholesaler. Maybe that's a better bet. But I've had good luck with the Hassel Outfitters. The per unit cost is $5 to $6 per tumbler. By the time I get them from Hassel or from Amazon and get them shipped to me, because there's no charge with my Prime shipping. So I usually buy them because most of my orders for tumblers are going to be 20 to 50 at, as far as the big orders. Of course, I get a lot of, hey, I just want like 2 for my uncles or 2 for my teachers or 2 for my coaches or 2 for, I do quite a few twofers, but as far as the bulk, most of my orders are going to be from, 20 to 50. Like if a business calls and says, hey, it's Christmas, because I got some businesses that like to give out tumblers at Christmas time as like a gift to their, some of their better customers. And then I have other places that like to give them to their employees for Christmas as like a award or whatever. And so those orders are typically going to be between 20 and 50 tumblers. So it's hard for me to get away from Amazon at doing those. Like I said, if I was doing thousands of them and, that $5 per unit was a problem for me, then I would go somewhere else. But typically you're looking at $20 to $25 per tumbler out the door is what I'm getting. So that's like $20 to do the tumbler. And if you're doing 20 of them, I mean, to me, that's a good day's work because I can do 20 tumblers easily before lunch with a good setup, even on a diode machine. I mean, with a CO2 machine, it's a little faster than that. So, doing it the way that I do it, it works for me. So you got to figure out what works for you. But I think the Hassel, I've never had a problem with a blank. I've screwed some up, because, things happen sometimes. But as far as having an issue with a blank, I've never had a problem. Matter of fact, one of my glasses this morning, I made me a glass of tea. I went out to water the garden and turn the sprinklers on and all that. And I set it down and forgot about it. And I found it earlier when I went back to turn the sprinklers on for the afternoon on my grass that I've just planted. And it still had ice in it. And it's a Hassel Outfitter. And it's been 80 degrees here all day long. And it still had ice in it when I found it. Now, it wasn't a lot of ice, but it still had ice in it. So they work well enough for me. I mean, I've got some Yetis, and to be honest with you, I think they work just as good, if not better than the Yetis. And so that's just what I've always used, and that's what I've stuck with. They don't have a visible logo anywhere on them. They're not branded. So you're not advertising for Yeti or Ozark Trail or any of those companies. So that's one thing that I do like about them. And I've always had good luck with consistency in the powder coating. And like I've seen some cheap tumblers that people have brought me before to where the stainless was maybe not quite as good of a grade of stainless, and it would have like black streaks in the stainless steel itself. And I've never had that problem with the hassles. But yeah, that's the ones I go to. But like I said, my situation, your situation may be different.
I just went back and looked, and there's a brand called Domicare on Amazon.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I've used in the past with success, primarily on CO2 lasers. Though I haven't done a lot with the diodes with this brand, mostly because I was doing a lot for the college. The college color is like a navy blue, and diode navy blue doesn't work the best. They are individually, I think they're $9.99 on Amazon, but they have like a 12-pack for $90.
Yeah.
$83. So, or $80 to $83. So those are ones I've had some luck with, again, mostly with CO2. But yeah, it's been, looking at this, it's been almost 4 years since I ordered those last. So take that with a grain of salt with how their quality is at this point.
Well,
I'll throw a link out there if people want to go check them out. But yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. So, like spending a little bit more for something consistent, if you're not wasting, all it takes is one or two tumblers sometimes to make up that cost difference. So,
see, here's my recent tumbler orders. There's let's see, how many is that? That's a 4-pack of black Hassel Outfitters. I got a 20-ounce 8-pack of 20-ounce red. There is 12-pack of 20-ounce black, 20-ounce orange, 12-pack. There's another 12-pack of blacks, 4-pack of 30-ouncers. There's another 4-pack of 30-ouncers. And then that's a DeWalt that I bought a long time ago. So yeah. And then there are many more Ozark Trails and other orders that folks have requested. What in the world did I just do?
Yeah, what did you do?
But yeah, those are just some of the ones on my Amazon account that are showing up now. And I think Clyde here a while back, I handed him a job that he did. I think it was 250 of them, and we ordered them. He ordered them through his Amazon, but yeah, 250 dollars. But it was for a utility company, so it was one of those to where, you knew the job was going to be good. You know what I mean? It wasn't like you were having to get paid up front and all that kind of stuff. You know that they're going to pay you.
Yeah. Willin M69 is asking, do either of you guys know of any designing app like Lightburn that I can use on my phone? I have a lot of free time in my day and a lot of ideas that I would like to work on. I'm not a good one to ask this because for me, because I deal with this a lot at work, people will ask for not so much a phone, but they'll ask for a tablet. And they'll ask for, I want a cover that has a keyboard in it, and then I want a mouse to add on to my. I'm like, why are you building the worst laptop possible? To me, phones and iPads and tablets and such are 90% consumption devices. They're media consumption devices. They're not for, you might type up a quick email on them, but they're not the best job when you're doing a lot of, creation. That being said, what you want to look for is like a good vector drawing application. There are some out there that are paid for sure, like Adobe has their own and such. I'm sure there are other, free versions, like if they're similar to like Inkscape, will allow you to do some designs in vector. Then you would be able to export those as, like an SVG into Lightburn, and then actually set up some some
If you're
drawing.
doing graphics, I've used is it Procreate? I think it is ProColor. No, there's an app that works pretty good if you've got like a pen or a stylus or whatever for your iPad. Is it? I think it's Procreate. I think it is Procreate. That sounds like a scientific term for something else, but I think it is Procreate. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So I've used this before to do artwork stuff, but as far as like, trying to build jigs and stuff like that, no. But you could actually take with this and this software, it works pretty decent for taking and like you could trace a image or something and create a vector doing it. But I ain't got that kind of skills when it comes to a pen, so I had to stick with computers. But no, I'm like Steve. I can't work like that on a tablet unless I'm using a stylus or something.
And I mean, don't take that as I don't think anybody can, because I know a lot of people who do a lot of image editing and other things on their tablets and such. I know people who have created full up YouTube channels strictly with their phone, so it's definitely possible. It's just not something I do a lot, so I'm not the best one to make a recommendation on it. That's I guess.
Yeah, that's not an area that we operate in very often.
Yeah. Luckily, my job allows me to have my desk, and I can, if I'm have a lunch break or whatever, I've got my laptop there. I can do some quick stuff. But
yep. Mark says he can find the sales videos be pretty obvious and not very helpful. I can read the brochures myself. I want to see actual real world testing experience, not a video of the sales brochure. Yeah, I try to do less and less. Like there's some things I think are worthy to mention, but when they when if it's the thing that when you click on their page, it's going to splash all over the screen, I'm going to leave it to you guys to go click the link and look at it. Let them give you the sales pitch. Let me just give you my experience. Whether my experience is, is in line with what they're offering or not, that's to be decided. But yeah, I just don't like doing sales videos. Because I don't want you guys coming back and going, hey, you told me to buy this. No, I didn't. I didn't tell you to go buy it. I said, if you want to buy it, use my links, but I did not tell you to go buy it. So I'm just showing you what I think about it, and you can make a decision based on my opinion if you trust my opinion to be, accurate, which I'm not going to lie to you, but it is still my opinion. And it may be my perspective and somebody else's perspective may differ.
Yeah, I mean, I'll touch, like if they want to say, hey, this is a feature of the laser or a CNC or whatever the machine is. Yeah. If it is unique enough, I'll try to make a point of it. But I also tell them, like, listen, I am going to test this in my shop with things I normally would use, and I'm going to give my impression based on that. And so if you say that this CO2 laser can cut through 5-inch thick acrylic, and I struggle at, 1/4 inch, I'm going to let them know these are real kind of things. I'm going to test that stuff and let them know how it worked for me and what to expect. And I tend to be probably a little more like, here's how the device is, here's how it worked for me, and here's how to use it. I've had a lot of people comment on a lot of my videos saying, hey, thanks. Finally, a video that shows me how to use it, not just showing me a bunch of things that it can do. And so I try to find that balance, and I appreciate the people that, recognize that. Hopefully and that goes back to that earlier question about X Tools. Like, they want us to put out marketing videos, and I try to show them, like, based on the comments I get, people don't want that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's my way of looking at it too. Like I said, I'm not your salesperson. So I mean, I don't mind showing the product and highlighting some stuff, but I'm not a sales guy.
Well, and both of us, you can go on our websites. Both of us have basically our review ethics statement out there that kind of lists that, like, that these are our terms. This is what we're going to do. We're going to say the good with the bad. We're going to give the manufacturer a chance. Like, hey, this is what I'm seeing. Am I screwing it up or not? Let me know.
Yeah. And sometimes you get a machine and there's a firmware patch that maybe you didn't get,
or sometimes with some of these new techniques with the new lasers, you got to learn how to do it right. And I don't want to put bad information out there, but also if it doesn't work, I don't want to put out a sales pitch trying to hide that it doesn't work and have people mad at me. You told me, you said this is a great laser, but it doesn't work.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah, Brad Custom Board says last night watching Ryan and them showed a video of a guy who punched a hole in the cartridges to add his own ink. Yeah, I saw that. I get that, you know, why some people would want to do that to save a little bit of money, but it's kind of like me and Steve have talked about too. You know, there are risks involved with doing that. I mean, because you don't know if there's some kind of special magic sauce that's in their inks that's not in the other that could cause you a problem. I mean, you never know. And if the machine or the head, you know, goes bad because of a cheap ink, you're not really saving money in the long run. So it's a, you know, I can see where some people would want to be adventurous and try that. But at the same time, I was one of those guys that put a cheap oil filter on my Toyota pickup truck for a long time and didn't realize the problem until I put 2 timing chains in it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes there are things about their ingredients that are required for that machine to work. And so that would be the only thing I'd be careful with.
There's always going to be the people who want to mod for modding's sake. The ones who are going to want to try to, you know, like they're going to say, well, I can buy this ink in bulk and refill the cartridges. I mean, they've been doing that with inkjet printers and everything, you know, day in and day out. Couple things. The ink cartridges, and I haven't watched the full video where they've been doing this. The ink cartridges also have a manufacture date on there, and the printer knows what that manufacture date is. And it's going to throw you a warning because I know this happened just tonight.
You just had that today.
It was like, yeah, no, that cartridge is expired. You need to put in a new one. I think right now it's extra touchy because, you know, the Eufy Makey one, it exploded. It was very popular. The Kickstarter, record breaking. And they had some issues. They've had some delays, and now people are getting the printers, but the ink supply isn't there because they had a little trouble with some of their magentas and other things. And also with people buying their printers and wanting to buy ink, they're trying to get caught up to where, you know, stable manufacturing is going to be. And I think that's the downfall of a highly successful Kickstarter is if your initial manufacturing quota or demand is above what you typically can spool up for, they're not going to build a
I was going to say you can't
manufacturing for a one-time surge.
Yeah, I was going to say you can't really build a factory to supply the demand currently because in 6 months the demand will curve.
Right. So I think right now there's a lot of people who are a little frustrated also because ink supply is behind. So I hope as things calm down, as things smooth out, supply kind of evens out, you know, it'll hopefully be a little bit smoother. But yeah, it's like you say, it's something people do. They hack them, and they may have success, but it is definitely a risk.
Yep. What's up, Cody? How are you? I think both of us got out a Cody video this week, didn't we? Used the short flute. Yeah, kind of. I mean, I wouldn't say it was a Cody video, but Cody's bits got to play a part in 2 videos this week. So,
well, they're I think so. When I've been going through the tests on that one, and being the machine it is, I've been able to use all the Cody bits, and I think for the most part, that is all I've used, other than the flattening of the slab for the Bigfoot thing. There was all that was done with Jenny bits. So I was very very happy to be able to do that. They're always quality. They always work well for me. So I just have to keep them straight when I do the actual talking of all the projects with
it. Chuck Peterson, is your jig going to work with the RA3 and P2 as it does with the RA2? There may be another version of it for the RA3, but the one that I've got right now is not. It's not because the base is shaped different. But that wouldn't take much of a modification for me to modify it. But there is a part that X-Tool sells also that is this little guy. and it goes inside the machine, and it's got this little thumb screw here that holds it in place. They sent me this to try out, and then you slide the RA3 in here, and you're supposed to be able to use the automatic function. It has an automatic function for the RA3. I haven't tried it yet. I've made sure this fits in my machine. I've got my RA3 attached to it. That part works, but I haven't used it on a tumbler yet. I've been getting some other stuff done, but I'm going to try this. And also I may make some modifications to my little jig, because I'm going to be honest with you. There's a little bit of like this in this thing. When you put it in there, it still wiggles a little bit. So I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to like it, but we'll get to that. Hopefully within the next week or so, I'll get to that. But I've got everything sitting over here, ready to go. I've got the RA3 with the P2 pigtail on it. And if you have the RA2, I didn't realize it until this thing come in. It's actually the same pinout as what most of the other rotaries use. It just looks a little different because I think it's like upside down or whatever, the way it's in there. But yeah, so I've got the RA3 and their little adapter ready for testing. I'm just waiting to get some other stuff done because there's some other projects I've got this ahead of that.
Cool.
So somebody's asking if you use a filament splicer.
No, never did. On my recent printers, I can always just load up the separate spool, and I would just have to make sure that it would actually run out, and then it would switch to the other one. So even on the A1 Mini and the A1 with the AMS Lite, it'll switch over as long as it knows there are two of the same color in there. Before that, very rare when I would do a print. I mean, if I got down to that point, I would just throw a new spool on any of my older single spool ones. So never used a splicer for that.
Roger. I think Willen didn't realize the weight on comments.
Yeah, sometimes you get a little behind on them.
Yeah.
I like this comment though, going back there. Sim the Attorney was like, a UV printer is a bit like having a performance car sitting in the drive once a month to go to the shops. It's a little bit like that, yeah. But because those things too, you look at some of those high performance vehicles and what it costs to do like an oil change on them. No thanks.
Yeah. There's Ryan. What's up, Ryan, sir? Ryan said that sounds like everybody that has the Anycubic had similar issues with the lack of AI detection.
Yeah, I've seen other people complain about that, and some other issues with the bed not being able to bed level and such. And some people will say, hey, well, all I had to do was manual calibrate this and swap out for this bed and add this and that. I'm like, well, it starts sounding like the old Ender 3s where you bought the printer and then you replaced half the parts of replacing or upgrading to get it to work. And I don't feel like that this day and age with 3D printing. There's the ones who like to tinker and tune, and that's great for them. But for majority of people, they want it to be like an appliance. They want to take it out of the box. They want to unplug it and turn it on. It's like I bought a new microwave today. It was on sale at Home Depot, $50. Our microwave was 22 years old, and it was still working, but the door latches were just getting obnoxious. And I was buying some things. I had to buy a new downspout extension for my gutters, and I was there, and they had these microwaves on sale for $50, marked down from like 100 and some. I was like, all right, I'll bite. Worst case is one of the kids will be moving out in the next decade or so. I can send it with them. But I took it out of the box, I cleaned it up, I plugged it in, and you know what? It worked. I don't want to have to tune the microwaves and wind up the plate so it spins.
Adjust the tension on the turntable belt or nothing.
So yeah. I think they should work out of the box.
Yep. Ryan's asking, did you guys see the teaser for the Gatton CNC 2.0? I watched this video he did on the new machine. I don't remember if that's what he called it. Oh,
well,
but yeah, I watched it, most of it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm not gonna lie. I was doing something else, and
I know just past couple days he's been putting out just real light teasers. Like, hey,
this one was like a full blown video that I saw today.
Okay. I didn't see that.
Like he showed it and said he's going to sell it in like a bunch of in the file. There's going to be like a 2x2, 2x4, 4x4, 3x4. Like there's a lot of different varieties, sizes, and everything. But yeah, I watched most of it. But there again, that's and some folks like building their CNCs. I'm just not totally against it, but it doesn't really fit my desires. Because like he was showing, you had to buy the materials and then you had to drill the holes and tap the holes, and like, I'm good. I mean, I grew up in a garage drilling holes and tapping holes and stuff like that as a kid, and I don't mind working on one occasionally, but I don't want to go buy an aluminum extrusion and then screw up and drill a hole 0.5 millimeter off and have to buy another extrusion. You know what I mean? I like to leave there is a price to buying something already assembled, but I learned real quick that sometimes the mistakes that you make during the process will total more than what it would have if you just paid somebody else to do it. So yeah, but I saw the video. I watched most of it. It was called "You Can Build This" is one I watched.
Where did you find that?
Dave Gatton CNC. Because my little progress bar is almost to the. Apparently either I walked away from it and it kept playing or whatever, but says I watched most
like
all
on
of
his YouTube channel.
Yeah, Dave Gatton CNC. It's right here. This is it. You can build this. See, there's the machine. Yeah. See my little progress bar where it's red right there? Yeah,
I'm looking at his page. I have a different one that says this is not rocket science. So he must be doing the.
He may be doing the.
Yeah.
Now the thumbnail changed. That's odd. Now it says stop procrastinating. You can build this on the thumbnail.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He's doing the whole like try different thumbnails thing. That's what's making it look different.
That's probably why it confused me, because I'm looking at the thumbnail and I'm looking at the title going, well, that doesn't look like a product announcement.
Yeah. He's doing the whole, testing or whatever, A/B testing that they do.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, the machine looks sturdy. It looks a lot like some of the machines that's on the market as far as the way he's got it built and everything. It really like looks a lot like friggin' was it oatmeal or whatever as far as the extrude. I know they all use basically similar extrusions, but a lot of the systems, there's only so many ways you can make that. You know what I mean? Like, so this machine, the oatmeal, like, they all, other than the Onefinity with the big pipes, they all look a lot alike. But yeah, somebody was asking about the adjustment. The RA3 does have a little nut right here that you can tighten up. When you tighten that up, it keeps it from moving. So you can angle this out and then tighten that up. It just, it holds really well. But yeah, it does have an angled adjustment. I actually like this RA3. Like, it's really nice. Now, do I think in all fairness, do I think they got an idea from somebody else? Which, again, there's only so many ways you can do this, but it does look very similar. The only difference is the Adam Stack's foot is still bigger than this one. But yeah, this wasn't my very favorite one, but now I like these two. But yeah, this one's got sticky. This one's got sticky feet on it. It works great. I had
They were sticky fingers.
sticky fingers. Sticky fingers. Yeah, my bad. Because they actually replaced the fingers. But
Which is really not
Klein
named
was
coming
over
from
here.
a former cop.
Klein was over here the other day, and we put a tumbler on here and was like picking it up and putting it down by the tumbler because this thing's heavy, like it's pretty bulky. And I was shocked at how well it actually held. So it does a good job for what it's intended for.
Sim the Turner is asking about plywood. Do you get an exterior grade plywood in the U.S.? Does it laser cut and engrave differently?
Yes, it would. I haven't never done any, but I'm sure it would.
Yeah, it depends on what you consider exterior grade. Some of them will have, be like the green treated, and it can be treated with some things you probably wouldn't want to heat up like that. I've seen some that are like literally epoxy impregnated plywoods.
Yeah, they got Bondo patches all in them.
Well, no, I mean they're more like they're actually literally soaked in epoxy. Like my trailer floor on my enclosed trailer.
Yeah, you got like marine rated or whatever.
It's like, well, it's beyond marine grade. It's like,
yeah,
it's basically like the worst MDF ever, but it's very sealed. So yeah, but then there are some that are just UV, they've got a hardened UV cured layer on it. Some people would plausibly call that exterior grade, but it's just honestly nothing I would, at that point, if I'm cutting it out, it's probably going on the CNC machine, the CNC router. Just because I don't want to burn through whatever's in that. Ryan says, Steve, I guarantee the new microwave is going to last 20 years. Not if it's like any appliance built in the past 19.
Yeah.
This going back to our 3D printer stuff. Mark's saying, absolutely, I've been totally spoiled by the Bamboo compared to my old printer. It just works instead of having to run multiple test prints every time I get new filament. And that's the thing. I feel like that is the standard these days, is that they're trying to make it more approachable for the average user. Or pull it out, and for the most part, it's going to work. Bamboo even goes to the point of like, hey, I'm detecting this issue. Would you like to see the help article on it? And they give a QR code, you scan it, and it brings up the video to kind of say, here's how to fix it. I've seen that like with the Eufy Make and their software too. They're like, hey, I'm seeing this issue. Do you want some help with it? I think they're trying to, with a lot of these maker devices and such, make them much more, appliance and beginner friendly in that vein. So.
Yeah. Mars 7330 says hi from Marla in North Dakota, maybe. So I've had some sad news for the community. Says Lori, I guess the laser ladies passed away. So if anybody's familiar with her, that's always bad. Don't like to see people go, but it's the older you get, the more often it seems to happen to people you know. So
yeah, well, and that's the kind of the thing too with YouTube.
What's going on over there, Steve? Are you updating your computer again?
No.
You kind of got that. You kind of looking like Rick over there. Last time, what was it? Something was uploading or whatever last time. Maybe it'll pass. This too makes you, and maybe I'm the only one seeing it, but it just.
If you're seeing it, it's probably everybody else seeing it.
All of a sudden, you got really pixelated for a second there. It's cleaning up a little bit now.
Let me see if something's hogging the.
Gerald Grady says, "I wish they had more hobby plasma cutting tables for metal. I thought about trying to convert a CNC with the plasma head. Yeah, those are cool. And if I had a big enough space to where I could dedicate a like flammable area for flammable cutting machines, I wouldn't mind having one. But I can't put something that throws that many sparks close to all this woodworking stuff I got in here. So if I had one of them, I'd have to take it outside or something too, because the dust from a plasma, that metal dust and dust off the slag and everything would be a little more than what I need. Already got a bad enough problem with dust in here.
Not seeing a problem.
Uh-oh. He found it. I said, did you find it? Oh, well, it looks fine now. It just like you like morphed into like Gumby for a minute there. And then it just like, now it's cleaned back up. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just
maybe you've got something set to check for updates at like 8:30. Who knows?
Who knows? I mean, it doesn't help that I've got a kid in college for computer networking as well, because every once in a while I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, just setting up some quality of service.
About ready to there's a fiber company. I'm about ready to have them just run it straight to the shop, and then
let me ask you this: do you have QoS set up to that machine right there, or are you just?
I do, but I'm just checking it right now.
Oh, okay. I was supposed to say, because you would think with QoS, unless it was a provider issue, you would think you would still be able to be able to go. Yeah. Apparently they were seeing it as well. So
we'll see if that does anything.
Billy said your GoPro was connecting. Is what it was the other day. That's what he's saying. It was something.
No, it was my my Insta360 was trying to upload.
Camera.
It was trying to upload those 360 camera files to their cloud thing. I was like, nah, stop that.
Yeah.
So shouldn't be that. I mean, overall, there's not that much bandwidth going uploaded right now on my network.
Auditing Arkansas says sawdust go boom. Yes. I do not want this place to go up like a flower factory, because there's days in here where the fuel to air mixture can get pretty heavy in here with all the sanding and stuff going on. That's the last thing I need. Freaking flash fire or powder explosion. Oh, I would love to have a Wazer. If anybody from Wazer is watching, yes, I would love to have one of those that would cut metal, rock, glass, whatever. Yes. Would love to have one of those.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's going to have to be one of those things that can get intermittently used and not be a pain in the butt to start up every time, you know?
Yeah, well, I think I actually could use that. I've got some companies and some things that I think I could use that on. But you know, again, not a whole lot of room.
Oh, all right. What did I miss? Done.
Yeah, Mark said those Wazer things are very spendy. Yes, they are. That's why I said if anybody wants to send me one, I'll take it. But I can't justify going and getting it unless I had a customer that was going to be buying, stuff from me every week. So, but it would be cool. Like, I mean, you want to talk about decommissioning like a hard drive or something? That would be awesome. Just put a hard drive in there and just cut it right in half in two.
Yeah.
It would be cool for stuff like that. Being able to see what's inside of stuff, it'd be nice.
Yeah.
Oh. But again, I don't have a whole lot of space, so I had to be careful what I get. The machines that I've got coming right now. Oh, has anybody else noticed that I have extra room on my table? No. That is for what is for a Galvo machine that is coming. Is this space right here?
I have zero room on my table, and I'm going to need it soon.
Yep.
I'm going to have to either find a new home for that, build another table, have someone drop a large shop somewhere that I don't have space for.
Yeah. Greg Wilson, Nature Photography, saying, have you found a matte black PETG filament? I've tried Overture, Sunlit, Prince Glossy. I want matte. I mean, most of what I got's pretty. The bamboo's pretty like non-glossy. I wouldn't call it glossy.
Yeah, I guess it depends. So like this piece is, I believe it's the voxel. So the side, it looks pretty matte, but where the surface and the bed, those get to be a little glossy.
Yeah,
but like the side one looks okay. It's just like the top and the bed part. But I haven't specifically. For me, PETG or I still stick with the PLA for most decorative type things where I really need a certain look. And if it's functional and I need the strength, I guess I'm not as worried about the sheen. So I haven't.
Yeah, I mean, you can sand it or hit it with some flat black spray paint. Depending on what it is, I guess.
Yeah. Or even just a clear coat of matte finish.
Mark's asking, so what got voted off the island to make room for the Galvo? Obviously, the bricked Omni X that I had that was sitting there that worked perfectly fine as a 6-watt, and then they sent me the 10-watt upgrade, and it never worked anymore. Well, it worked, but it just a 10-millimeter square was not a 10-millimeter square. And if I did get it to where a 10-millimeter square was square, then it looked more like a circle. So if I got it to where it was 10 millimeters, then it started looking like a circle. So it was a calibration issue with the 10-watt head they sent. Now, again, my machine, Steve's machine, were both prototype machines. So apparently the Omni X as a whole did not have that problem, or they would be people up in arms everywhere trying to get their money back. But mine and Steve's were affected by it. So it does me no good. So it is up there in the attic, in case I ever do find a way to fix it. Maybe I can dig it down.
Some people are recommending PETG carbon fiber, I'm guessing CF, to get matte finish.
There you go. I think you got to have a hardened nozzle for that, though, don't you? For the CFs.
If it has actual carbon fiber in it, yeah.
Yep. I'm learning. Like I said, I'm very basic on my 3D printing needs. I make functional stuff, and so.
Ooh, can I show you something I got this week?
Sure. Hashtag Steve gets all the cool toys.
No, that's the wrong. This is another. What's the term I'm thinking of? Steveism? I don't know.
Oh, just some glue. That's your ism. You got a gluism problem. I bet you it's glue. It's got to be glue. What'd you get?
I got myself a big bottle of this stuff.
I knew it was glue. Somebody in my video, they were commenting, the one I did about the plastic stuff. They were like, you should have just emailed Steve and asked him what glue to use to glue your plastic and your PVC together.
There we go. Boss Dog Glue Company Clear Dry. You can get this on Amazon.
Didn't we get some of that somewhere?
For PVA glue. Yeah, we got this at you should have gotten some at Workbench Con for sure.
I was gonna say, I think I got some of that up there.
This is good stuff. I like this. It dries fairly clear, dries fairly fast. So for a good PVA wood glue. Yeah. I got myself a nice new big bottle of it.
Yeah, I think I got a small one. Yeah, I do. This is what happens when you go places with Steve. Is he's like, oh, dude, that's some good glue right there. You should get some of that. Put in your bag.
I think they had a CA glue as well, but I don't know that I got a sample of that. I should have tried.
Yeah. Well, apparently I have used it. I haven't used it, but apparently I have because there's glue on the
You got to try it the next time you got a glue up of sorts, you know?
If I do a letter glue on, I'll use it to see.
Because it does, like I say, it dries pretty quickly and it dries really clear. It's not, yellow or bright white. It's fairly clear. So
Craig said that's a squash size bottle. Always count on Steve for glue. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, I've been trying to get him to get one of those was it a trench coat? You know how those guys that used to sell watches, like they'd have and they open it up and they'd be like watches all on the inside. Yeah. Steve needs to get one of those and put like bandoliers in there, but instead of shotgun shells, he could put like little bottles of glue and just wear it to an event and be like, hey, you need some glue? Because that's kind of how I envision Steve. Like he should be like a door-to-door glue salesman or something. Because he knows some of the weirdest things about glues. It's a glue fetish.
When you're trying to stick things together, you learn a few things.
Hey, I mean, you're my go-to guy. If I'm like, hey, Steve, how do I need to put this together? I'll message him for sure.
But
he said you'd still look like a tall flasher from behind.
Yeah, very much so.
Oh, me. Fun. Let's see.
Anyway, I think we get caught up on the comments already.
Yeah, I think we're actually caught up. I know it's surprising because we typically get stalled out and then we have to like fast forward, but I think we did. Now, if you did comment something, and we always say this, guys, don't be mad at us. Don't be like cussing us in the comments. Just post your question again because sometimes we get, distracted, squirrel, sidelined, whatever, and we miss comments. It happens. It helps if you'll throw some question marks in front of it because a lot of times when you guys are, talking back and forth, things can get kind of lost in the weeds a little bit. So, we're not trying to be rude by not answering your questions. Sometimes they just fall through the cracks.
Ryan, I can't believe you'd actually ask that. Everybody knows you need to get the T-Rex brand duct tape. Now, however you're going to hold the seagull still and the beaver to,
Oh my goodness.
Don't get the gorilla. Don't get the gorilla tape. It smells funny. It doesn't quite have the bond of the T-Rex stuff.
Mercy. Eileen must have missed it. We discussed the Creality filament maker thing earlier. It's cool that the recycling aspect of it, but I don't think I have a need for any custom colors or anything. But yeah, we discussed that pretty thoroughly earlier tonight there. So I don't want to go back to it too much.
There you go. There's a website called This to That that gives candidate glues to stick different materials together. I'll start there's a lot of people.
You definitely need to link that to your webpage.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I mean, between working IT, thankfully I don't spend a lot of time at the help desk anymore, but I get this a lot, in questions, comments on videos and things, or you see it in Facebook groups, and I'm like, the amount of time people will take to type out a question to ask like a small set group of people in a Facebook group or maybe a comment on a YouTube video, hoping to get an answer, when I'm like, if you would literally take that to Google, you're going to get the answer much faster, Now, I get when they're maybe, based on your experience, or I've been playing this, trying to expand upon something. But some of them are kind of, they're very well-known topics you're going to get a lot of information on. Not to say I don't appreciate this and helping people out, but just, it always just amazes me when people will take the time to type all that out, but not just put it into Google first, because it's going to give you a lot of answers, whether they're right or wrong, right away, rather than waiting for someone to respond to it in a group or,
Well, you're talking about the help desk. Some days I feel like I work on a help desk because, and I know you get this, and it's it can be a bit, I don't know, frustrating at times. Is when you do a video and like you spend like 10 minutes in a video discussing a certain topic, and then you put like links to the information or the part or whatever in the description of the video, and the first comment you get is about that thing that you focused on so much and that you put the links to in the description. That's always the first question is, well, where would I find that? Or something like that. You get that a lot, and I overlook things myself, so I'm not like criticizing per se, but it happens a lot. And so sometimes it's like, okay, it was literally in the title.
I try not to, because when we get a question once or twice, or when we've referenced something, oftentimes information's in the description. Now, granted, YouTube's done a really good job of trying to hide the description. Yeah. And so it doesn't always stand out, especially in like YouTube shorts. But yeah, I mean, that's where I try to like add a pinned comment on some things and whatnot.
Like a timestamp.
It's just, but anyway. Tony's asking,
Tony wants to know if you've flown yet.
Have I done any flying yet? No. I did have a friend reach out because, it was really warm and not too windy yesterday. But we had, a foot of snow like a week ago. And it was really warm yesterday, but it was very squishy and spongy on the the grassy areas. So I haven't been out flying yet this year. I do need to tune up maybe some of my park flyers to be able to do that more. But did talk with another friend about there's a video at least a decade old. It's out on my channel. It was a buddy of mine flying his Taylorcraft. And I put together a video for him of it. And he messaged me today saying, hey, I got the Taylorcraft back. And, I was like, oh, that's cool. So there'll be some more. And I may have some more of that content on my second channel.
The second channel.
Where second channel.
At, Steve?
It's linked in my description. Otherwise, just search for Vintari Outdoors on YouTube. You probably find it. But that's going to, and as is the channel name, it's kind of me getting out of the shop doing things. A lot of hiking, biking, but also some aviation related content will be there as well. So if you want to hang out with me as I do things outside the shop, hit up that channel. As it's starting to warm up, I'll get a little more content out there, but this will still definitely be primary for stuff. I'll still be trying to be as active here as possible, but I figured part of it is I just need to get outside and do more. More walking.
I was to say, isn't this your way of motivating yourself to exercise?
A little bit. And so, like yesterday, I did. I went out. I put 20 miles on the bike. Granted, it's an e-bike, but I had it in just kind of the low assist mode. I was tired.
Yeah, look, you got 43 subscribers so far.
I do. And
okay, and let's see how many people's in this one right now. So there's 146 people in here right now. So assuming some of you probably have already subscribed, surely we can get the man up to 100. So y'all go hit that button. I mean, if you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe later. We love seeing that when we log in and our subscriber count goes down.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's a really awesome feeling.
But yeah, well, there'll be some more out there. Both model aviation, but there's also some full scale stuff I go to, and I'll be sharing some of that out.
Well, while we're at it, if you just want another channel to subscribe to, there's this really cool guy here that does videos
from that one
as well.
Make his count go down.
Yeah, this is the Claycleys channel here. Yeah. So you can just go look for the peach. Yeah, there you go. So that's another good one. That's a lot of like household DIY, like fun stuff, fixing driveways, running tractors, cutting trees. Me just yakking. household technology.
Harold's GSW Flyers is asking y'all making it to the next level makers in Grapevine, Texas. And yes, both Clack and I are registered. There's a room that's been reserved. Apparently now there's daily parking fees to pay.
Yeah, they keep sneaking them charges in.
But we will be there. I think you're getting there the day before. I should be rolling in just in time to get registered and get into the initial kickoff around noon that Thursday. But I'm planning on being there the whole time, barring changes, of course. But I think both of us will be driving, so be a little bit of that's going to be the interesting thing is that ends Saturday evening, and both of us are going to be
yeah, that's probably going to be a live that I don't know that we're going to make that one, because I think I check out Sunday morning is my checkout at the motel.
So yeah,
check it out.
That one could be interesting, because how far away is it for you?
11 hours.
Yeah, and I'm about 13, 14.
So yeah, it's I mean, if we are live, it may just be me talking to the windshield.
Yeah, we'll be live driving home.
I can maybe take the camera, take the phone, and put it over there. I won't be able to read any comments. We'll have to get somebody else to read the comments.
We'll need a third-party comment reader for us. But
I can talk to you guys while I drive, but that's probably about all I'll be able to do.
But no, we're gonna give it a shot. We've heard some good things about it. I know it is. I mean, now you don't have to register for the full event. If you want the full event, it's normally $3.99. I think right now it's $35 off. It was $70 off before the 15th. I think if it's before April 15th, you get it for $35 off. And that's for the full event. There's a few meals, all access to all their sessions. I believe they video them, and then you'll have access to them afterwards as well. Not 100% sure on all of them, but sounded that way.
That's what they're saying. Yeah.
But if you want to just get access to the vendor area, so like if you're going to be in the area and you just want to come hang out with people and check out the vendor area, you can register for a free vendor area ticket. There's no food involved with that. There's nothing else but access to that. But that being said, we'll be hanging out in the area.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to spend most of my time. I don't think I'm going to be going to many of the classes.
Yeah. So there's that'll be definitely a place that both of us will be at, and we're going to try to make sure we have time to hang out with people. Some meals are included in that ticket, some might not. So maybe there'll be also like an after hours kind of, hey, let's go hang out here or there. But yeah, we'll be there in the area during that time. So if you are, check it out. But I do understand some people are looking at it and going between travel, lodging, and the event. It's a bit of an investment. But if you are in the business,
because the whole parking thing, I wasn't planning on that. I figure if I'm paying for a motel room in the motel, I can park in the motel parking, right?
Well,
no. It's $15 a day just to park your car.
So yeah, I mean, if you're in the business of lasering, maybe 3D printing, sounds like maybe some UV printing and such as well. This is a type of conference where you'll make some connections. You can take some of their classes to maybe get some good ideas and some help. And it's one of the big things I gain out of this is just the networking. I might not go to a single class, but making connections with other people, other creators, other makers can be huge. I mean, because if you can find a few people that you can collaborate with, or just even bounce ideas off of, or whatnot, that can be huge, even if it's just a mental pushing you beyond whatever the stumbling block is. So take a look at them that way. But yeah, it's definitely something that is a bit of an investment, time and money to be able to attend. So,
oh yeah, it's definitely not cheap. But then again, like I said, if you have a business, training, business travel, those type of things are deductions. And that's how I operate it. It, to me, this gets, this is a business trip. I'm going for, to meet new customers, to meet new partners, to meet new vendors, all that kind of stuff. So it is a business deduction for me. And if you have a business, a small business, and you do your taxes or you have an accountant or whatever the case may be, then keep that in mind. And if you do go, make sure you track everything, keep up with your monies, and that way at the end of the year, you can count that off as marketing, continued education, certification, whatever the case may be. However you can work that in. But to me, this is going to be marketing and networking for the business, and so it's all going to be like business expense. And it's fun, and I get to meet some of you guys, and I get to meet other people that do what we do. So that's cool. Oh, there's a question. Gillette saying that my Lasermatic XW has started to sort of shut down, short out when I start a job. It frames fine, even when I set the fire pulse setting to 20%, but it shorts out when I send an actual. What do we mean by short out? Like, you mean it just hangs up? If it's it sounded like it may be a controller issue, but it could also be a USB cable issue if it's doing it when you send a job to it. But I don't know what you mean by short out, because that's a very specific term, and I think it's not what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't. I guess it depends on what the behavior of the laser is. I know there's been some weirdness with like the power switches will sometimes start to fail. I don't know if that would turn on and then like
saying it shuts off then restarts.
Like it reboots.
Overloading the power supply, kicking it out and then kicking it back up.
I mean, it could be an actual short that happens when it moves faster rather than slower, but
yeah,
that's
He said he's replaced the AC adapter and the USB cable. Okay, well,
I would try to go in there and check all the wiring. Like if you can pull the little XT, the white connectors off of like steppers and control boards, sometimes those will be a little loose, and it can take a little bit of actual like inspection of each one. But sometimes those pins will back out just a little bit, and they'll intermittently work. But like a quick movement would possibly be enough to jostle it. I don't know. That's the frustration with these lasers is like sometimes you got in there and just trace individual wires to find the problem.
I would say probably the most likely problem would be the power supply, but he's saying he's already swapped the power supply out. Check and make sure that the power supply isn't having like which I guess the machine's not moving, like the external part of the machine's not moving. It's enough to cause a disconnect if the power supply had gotten hit. Because a lot of times those connectors, if you bump them or rub up against them too much, they can get loose. Make sure that that's not happening. Make sure that the plug itself is not moving inside the connector. But if it's not the power supply and it's not a communications error with it talking to Lightburn, then I mean it's got to be something on the controller. If it's not those two things, so I would hope that it would be one of those two. So that's a tough one, especially with Rolly no longer being available.
Yeah, I mean they do still have some support online. Might not be as responsive as it used to be, so I would definitely reach out to them if you haven't already. Sounds like Harold says he's going to be stopping by, lives close, stop by Friday and Saturday. So it'll be good to see you. I know he's saying we could stay at his place and leave Monday. So it'll be fun to get down there and visit people. We are still talking a little bit about trying to figure out another time outside of that, where one or the other of us or both travel somewhere, get together. But Well, we'll see. It seems like times we got to figure that out sooner or later, or it's going to be the end of the summer.
You want to explain this one here, or do you want me to?
Let's see. Trade Skiller Anonymous. So JR saying Lightburn / ComMarker Omni 1. When I'm running a batch job on repeat marking, as long as my laptop is connected, hitting the pedal cycles next round. If I remove my laptop, it stops repeating. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, the pedal is simply a trigger for Lightburn.
Yeah.
The file's not being saved to the OmniX in the controller. It doesn't have storage for that. It's streaming the data from Lightburn. In Lightburn, there's a setting to where you can activate the trigger on a certain pin for that machine. So if you disconnect Lightburn, then yes, the file can't be sent to the machine, because that pedal simply, if you go into your settings, the pedal, all it does is generates a signal inside Lightburn saying, pedal has been pressed. And that signal, once it's received, it is then sent basically as a run command to the laser. So yes, if you disconnect the machine, it is not going to operate.
Yeah, well, and also if you have it doing like a customized text, it would need that file that it's linked to as well. But if it's just a repeat cycle, since the Omni 1 requires Lightburn or something to run, but now that would be one of the features of like the Xtool F1 Ultra or the F2 Ultra. You can load that. You can tell it to load the file from the U drive or whatnot, the external storage, and do it without the laptop. But
yeah, now the Xtool machines, the way they operate, and the reason that you have to go over to it and hit the button when you send the file to it, it works kind of like a DSP controller. So the file is actually saved to a temporary volatile memory on the machine itself. So it's there, like even with like the F2s, and you can actually go back through some of the previous programs. But if you look, let me show you right here, top screen. All right, so in Lightburn, if you look right here, you actually have to configure your pedal. So these are your input output ports are right here. And then you have to tell it, let's say start marking is number 14. So the 14 trigger is what's going to tell it to start marking. And so I'm going to walk over here, or reach over here and push my pedal. Wait a minute, is my pedal connected? Hang on. I'm assuming it is. Maybe I don't have it connected. I've been moving stuff around. But anyway, when you push the pedal, that's gonna dictate the trigger for that to start. But that's where this gets assigned. So you literally could fix it. You could set it to whatever. It's just watching for that signal. And I don't know why my pedal is not working. That's just done got broke. That's gonna mess with me. Oh, wait a minute. There it is.
I feel like I need to load up the Jeopardy music. Have on hand during these times.
I just used it the other day. Huh. There's my machine not connected. Oh, my dang machine ain't even showing connected. No wonder. Hang on a minute. Omni 1. There we go. Okay. There we are. Okay. Now let's see what happens. It's still saying disconnected. Oh, it's because I put that new cable in. Stand by. I got to fix it right quick. It says disconnected still. Oh. It should be automatic. Now I got to get it to connect. It's going to make a fool out of me if I don't. Laser disconnected. Waiting for connection. Waiting. I think it's a hub. I think it's a hub issue with this new computer. Hang on. Because I don't, now that I think about it, I don't think I ever went back and reinstalled it after I changed computers.
Yeah, I'm trying to find some background music for you that's not going to get us flagged.
I'm just gonna have more shuffle machines a couple more times here. I was trying to show the signal.
There we go. Here we go.
Wait a minute. Did I ever? I'm an idiot.
Well, I mean,
Do you know what I bet I haven't done? I bet I haven't installed the driver on this machine because now that I think about it, I haven't used this machine since I swapped computers. Hang on. Com marker. Omni 1. What driver does it take? Software. Oh my God. 64-bit driver. Whatever. Hey, I'm working on this. You just answer some questions. I'm trying to figure out exactly what's going on here.
Okay, well, I'm going to leave the music going until you figure it out. So
I'm a good enough IT person that I have found that it is definitely the driver. So now I've just got to update the driver. But I'm going to do that over here without the music for a minute. Crazy butt. This PC. I gotta go to my driver files. Oh, and it won't let me do it from a freaking external drive. Ah!
Oh, this is fun.
Hey, you can quit with that and just start answering some questions.
No, this is motivation for you to get it fixed.
I'll be done in a moment.
I gotta find the button.
I gotta copy it over to the local machine. It won't let me install the driver from a network drive. So I've got to
let me see. Do we have any other questions?
Surely there's somebody got one.
Someone's asking for Pink Panther music or Benny Hill. I was trying to find something that's not going to flag us for.
Yeah, look at that. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, found laser marking control board.
Dark Forest Maid says X-Tool tip for recalibrating the crosshairs in an old S1. The support site tells you use code M307 by 400 Y400 to calibrate it. But if your machine is older, the encoder is different. Use X1000 Y1000. Interesting. Thanks for sharing that tip if people run into it. Here's a question for you. How long will it take for Clack to finish? I'm guessing since we're already 4 minutes over, it's going to take a good 20 minutes, and I'm going to have to come up with a lot of things to talk about.
Hopefully this will fix this. I just realized earlier that I have not apparently used this machine.
Boomer always. How about Vanna White while we wait? I left the dress inside. Otherwise, we might be able to do that.
It is still to be weird with its connectivity.
Yeah, another good. This seems to be a common question. When is Clack going to be done? Again, I mean, I think this may take him a little while because the pressure's on and we're all watching him, and I'm kind of commentating, but not. So here we see a Clack in his natural environment. You notice with the eyes, the super focus. Just dialing in on the issues, trying to ignore anything else going on, just keeping that just intense stare. And in any minute, we're going to see the light. Oh, wait, no, light bulb might not be coming on there. It's looking like a little bit of confusion.
Oh, this computer's wanting to be a butt. What it's doing. It's found it. It's installed. I've got it installed. It's showing it right there.
A question was, did you turn it off and back on again?
But I think I'm going to have to restart my computer actually for this driver to go in fully, because I've tried uninstalling this device and then requesting it, and it's still not properly installing, I don't think. Yeah, so I think this is going to be a restart scenario, which means I am not going to be able to show you guys with this machine. The only possible thing that we could have differently is
I think this is called the cliffhanger, and so this is where we put next time on Sunday Night Live. Will Clack have fixed the laser? Will he be able to answer the question?
the only other possible option I may have is the Mon port might actually be. I may have the right driver already installed for the Mon port. I don't recall. I don't use these things as much as I probably should.
Kevin, he could actually reboot, and we could just hang out here and wait for him. But
no, I'm gonna get these machines fixed though, because I didn't realize I hadn't done that. But yeah, even my MOPA, it's not showing up right now.
A good demonstration of why you want to have it. If you're a professional streamer, and I'm not going to try to say that either of us are, you would actually have a dedicated machine for the stream so that you could actually reboot the demonstration machine.
Well, I got one. It's over there in my back. It's over there. It's over there in my backpack that I could reboot. But yeah, no. But what it is like I said, JR, it is the pedal is simply a light burn trigger, and so without light burn, the pedal does nothing. The pedal is an input into the machine that is output over to light burn, and then the file is sent from light burn to the machine to be processed. So yes, if you disconnect with that machine, if you disconnect the computer, it is not going to work properly. Now, if you had, let's say, if you're just wanting to run the same file and you were running like an Atom stack or something like that, then you could save it to the CF card or the SD card on there and run it with the offline controller. But these machines don't have that capability like, say, the Xtool products do. So, yeah, it's not even seeing my MOPA. So I'm going to have to definitely do a reboot and make sure because I reinstalled Lightburn, but I don't even know that I put all of the drivers in there for all of the Galvos.
It's probably just one of his many USB hubs are unplugged.
No, that was plugged in because that's the same one that this table camera right here is plugged into. So I know the USB is working. Like that's not the problem, because I have used that plug up there. I used it for the Creality machine. I used that hub. It's not the hub. It's just the drivers for those. But anyway, if you go watch a couple of my videos on the Galvo machines, I'm pretty sure I show how the triggers work. Because you can even set like one of the buttons to be disable laser source or whatever for like the safety switches for the door. There's triggers for that. There's a bunch of different triggers in there that you can use to communicate between the machine and Lightburn, and you can assign it to different things. You can assign it to where it's got to be a constant. You can assign it whether it's just a tap. I mean, there's some different settings you can use. But anyway, I will be fixing that in just a second, though. I just leave them on for right now. Let them run for a minute. But no, I've been using the UV over there like a lot, and I haven't even turned the Omni on here lately. So I have used it, but now that I think about it, I haven't used it since I swapped computers. So we'll fix that.
All right. Well, we're 10 minutes over now. Any final thoughts?
Hey, it's always fun, always an adventure. But no, that's about it. Unless anybody got any more questions, I hate I couldn't demonstrate that one for you guys, but I promise you that'll be fixed next time we go live. I just didn't. That's one of those things that got slipped through the cracks on me when I put this new computer in. I still can't believe that the Monport's not working though, because I think it uses a standard Galvo driver. I would think it would work, but it ain't seeing it. But anyway, that's all I got.
All right. I don't think I have much more other than thanks everyone for the support. Thanks for everyone for the follows. We shared our alternate channels. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, some of the other social medias. I mostly post to Facebook and YouTube, and occasionally Instagram is linked well. But so yeah, if you want to, I've been dropping some teaser stuff on my Facebook page as well this week. So always, if you want to get more behind the scenes stuff, check that out. And we also have channel memberships. I'll be dropping a members update hopefully this week. So if you are a channel member, be sure to catch that as well. I'll try to have that out by midweek and give you all an update. But yeah, otherwise, usual videos will be coming out. Like I say, hopefully the Sane Smart 2x2 machine will be out midweek as well. And then we'll go from there. But otherwise, thanks everyone for hanging out this Sunday evening. And we'll see you again next week.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Appreciate you. Till next time, be safe and have a good day.